Shares of Apple are lower in pre-market as the company warned in a letter to USTR Lighthizer that more tariffs on Chinese imports would, quote, tilt the playing field in favor of our global competitors. Linda Bakhshian of Federated Investors is still with us. So, Linda, we've talked a little bit about trade and how that's an overhang on the equity market. When you look at an Apple, and not even the specifics of Apple, but in general in the tech area, what is the risk posed by having to redirect the supply chains?
Yeah, I mean, in the shorter term, it will create a lot of disruption. And it's not just the supply chains, but it's also Apple has a lot of exposure to selling its goods into Chinese market as well. So any kind of a disruption at the end of the supply chain or the finished goods is also an issue for Apple. However, I think with Apple, they are also talking about is potentially moving 30 to 40% of their manufacturing out of China and away into other countries. So they are starting to, diversify their supply chain. I think, if you kind of look through the next 12 months, maybe through the trade issues, Apple has strong balance sheets, strong cash flows. So it's a company that you want to hold in your portfolio for longer term and maybe, add through the dips as you see a little bit more trade volatility, or essentially, keep your holding and look through for the next, 12 to 18 months.
So I'm curious on the supply chain. You're quite right about the end market, but just sticking with the supply chains for a moment, are we overstating the possible risk there? We had the founder of Honhai, the biggest supplier to Apple, overnight saying, quote, I am urging Apple to move to Taiwan. And it's sort of his company. He thinks we should all go to Taiwan. Is it easier to do than maybe we thought?
Well, anytime you want to move supply chains, it's going to be difficult. You're going to have to, get regulatory approvals, manufacturing facilities, get products through. It will create disruption for a quarter or two. But is it doable? Absolutely. Now, is it going to be Taiwan or is it going to be other countries? I think Apple's going to have to diversify its supply chain, as do other companies as well, by the way.